Hey everybody, Erica Reddick here at Austin Action Fest with Mr. John Francis McCullagh.
Hello.
We're here to talk about his project, Dead Hand. Dead Hand. Before we got started, I was just saying, I love that your project starts with an action sequence. Like
Thank
there
you.
is something going on right from the beginning all the way through. It's like there is constant movement and action. Was that intentional on your part when you wrote it? Did you want it to just be like as much action and intensity as possible, or was that kind of like an afterthought?
It was definitely purposeful.
Okay.
My hope, especially with the opening scene, was to kind of grip the audience, make sure that they were like, okay, what's happening? What's the mystery here? Who are these villains?
Yep.
And then I just love a good, hand-to-hand fight scene, and so I wanted to see how many we could get away with doing.
Well,
So.
we are the Austin Action Fest.
Yeah, so perfect place
So
for it.
that's what it's one of those things where like the movie doesn't have to be all action, but
Yeah.
it's got to be good action and it's got to be some. And so there are tons of fight scenes,
Yeah.
which I love. That's my favorite part of a movie, you guys. But there has to be a good storyline too.
For sure, you have to care about the characters.
You have to care about the characters. There has to be relationships, stakes. It has to matter. And so did you have an inspiration for this film? Like, were you trying to go with like a certain feel? How did you make sure that with all the action, there was still good grounded characters and relationships?
That's kind of tough to take from like an intuitive thought and put into like words specifically.
Yeah.
But the kind of the way I put it is there's a lot of films that have great action sequences, and I call them very YouTubeable moments.
Yeah.
But as a movie as a whole, it's like, why should I care? And so the character relationships mean like what gives the fights their weight. As good as the choreography can be, you got to care about the characters, because you got to care about. Oh no, I don't want the villain to win. Because if you want the villain to win, then that's a great villain or a bad movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So at the center of it all, there had to be something that we wanted to root for, someone. And so as I was writing the script, I kind of found that Johnny was the main character.
Okay.
And that his journey from being this kind of punk ass that got brought into this dangerous situation and turning into the hero, I found that was the most gripping arc of the story, and he was the most rootable character.
Yep.
And so my character kind of ended up being kind of his Gandalf, his like, let's help you get there.
Yep.
But you're on the right path, Johnny. Keep going.
Yep.
So all his fights, especially facing his old best friend, now rival. It just adds some tension on many different levels. That was the hope, at least.
Well, and that's what isn't that the worst when you like that betrayal?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so everyone in life has experienced some kind of a betrayal. And we know, that hurts. That hurts my feelings, you hurt my feelings. But when the stakes are so high and you go, oh my God, like this really, really sucks. And so, digging into that emotion, dialing into that, I think is so important.
Yeah, for sure.
And finding that root. Now, the character Andrew, the comic relief.
Yeah.
What was his last name? Yates.
The actor's last name is Yates. Yeah.
What was his name?
Jordan Yates.
Jordan Yates.
Yeah.
The character Andrew, of course. I'm a comedy person, so I really liked his character because he was the comic relief. Did you write that part separately? Like, did you get help with the comedy versus the drama? Like, what kind of, in the writing,
Yeah.
how did you balance the drama and the comedy?
So I can't like recall specifically which lines I exactly wrote and which lines were kind of improvised.
Yeah.
Because when I approach, unless it's a very specific line that I need for the scene or the film as a whole,
Yeah.
I try to be fairly flexible with my actors, especially when they are good with improv.
Okay.
Like Mr. Gray, that Daniel Vincent Galvin played him,
Yep.
and Jordan Yates, who played Andrew. They're both really good at improv.
Okay.
And so I would kind of have them do the lines verbatim in the first take, and then we kind of play around with it a little bit.
All
If I
right.
liked it, I would keep it. If I didn't, I was like, let's try it again.
Okay.
So some lines that they came up with themselves, they still fit the flow of the scene, and they were really funny. So I was like, all right, we'll keep it.
Keep it in.
So I'm very specific as a director.
Okay.
But filmmaking is still, no matter how controlling and visually minded you are as a director, you got to be collaborative and give your actors some flexibility.
See now me as the like line director,
Mm-hmm.
AD kind of person, I'm like, nah, man, we got to edit this crap later. You're gonna make this complicated. I'd be like,
Yeah, I try to
So-
keep it in focus, but with a little flexibility.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm not running 6 cameras and having them just give 6 punchlines.
and then like
you guys get 1
18
punchline, you can improv.
takes,
Exactly.
and then
yeah.
whatever. So I think you said you do the one like verbatim. This is what the script says, and then you do another take, and you let them
roughly.
have a little
Kind
liberty.
of how sometimes I'll just let them kind of go, or they'll just kind of naturally do it because they're so goofy and good at improv.
Yeah.
And sometimes funny but not really fitting, and other times like that was perfect. Let's do that. Let's work that into the script.
So that's good as a director. So you try to be present and there, but also flexible, and give your cast and crew some artistic leeway.
Yeah, because no matter how good your script is, sometimes things in your head or even on a table read are not going to sound as authentic as something that just comes up in the moment.
Yes.
There's a scene that I had to cut out a lot of dialogue of my own because when I read it off the page, I was like, oh, this is very sincere and heavy. But as I started doing it in the scene, we were cracking up like, you sound like a psychopath. It's like, that's not what I meant. So we
People
cut all
would
those
not
lines.
talk like that in real life. How
Yeah.
many times I've been at a movie where I'm just like, yo, man, people don't talk like that.
Yeah, and
that's
sometimes-
not what that character would say in this moment right now.
Sometimes you don't realize that until you're talking to the character who's living and breathing in front of you. So that's why I try to be
Yep.
flexible, because as good as I can make the character in my head, that actor's going to be living that character. So they're going to bring something authentic to it. So I gotta allow some of that authenticity to come through.
Yep.
Unless it's total crap. But luckily I'm working with talented people. So
And isn't that the most important thing?
yeah, there's only so much you can direct.
Because if you have people that you don't trust and you don't feel good about,
Yeah.
well, then it's like, oh, I can't let you do that. I can't let you. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to start out by making sure you have people that you trust with your characters.
Definitely, yeah.
And so say a little bit about what casting was like for this film. Because
Yeah.
this was not a small film. You have a pretty big cast. You have
Yeah.
a lot of locations. There had to be a lot that you had to manage.
Yeah, I did, especially because it was, we shot this on a $6,000 budget I paid out of my pocket. We raised some money for post-production, so it took a little longer but as far as shooting goes, it was $6,000.
That's amazing.
We saved about $1,000 because my wife helped coordinate and got a lot of deals on the food.
Have a good wife, y'all.
yeah.
If you are a creator.
But yeah, as far as the casting goes, some of the casting was like, okay, 100%, I'm confident in these people, and then other ones is like, okay, I've met them a couple times, I'm going to take a gamble on them because like at the end of the day, we had to make a film. I was like, I've pitched films to people with much bigger budgets, but I'm a first-time director, and so they're always asking, what have you done? And so we just kind of got to a wall, and my business partner did the same thing. We were like, we both just got to make a movie. So we shot his movie in like 12 days, not nearly as much action as mine.
Yeah.
And then mine took longer because of all the fight scenes.
The choreography has to be tight, y'all.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do an action film and you're gonna just like, kick the can on the action, don't do that.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
But yeah, so like some of it was kind of a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
Our Frost actor, His name is Angel Rodriguez. I knew him from my old job.
Okay.
And he's very charismatic in actual life. And just like, okay, I'm confident that if he played that charisma kind of evil, he'll do a decent job.
Okay.
But he showed up and he did a great job.
Cool.
So like, and then of course everyone else, like they just kind of brought it to the table, and they all knew they were working for deferred pay. They all knew that they might never get paid if the film never makes money. But they acted like they were getting paid millions of dollars, and they gave a great performance.
Yeah,
So
there's good, what's the right word? Energy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why can't I think of the word that I'm going for? Like, it seemed like people were working well together.
Like good chemistry?
Chemistry,
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
Yeah, it helps that a lot of us were already friends, and we made fast friends with the new people.
Yeah.
That's
good.
Yeah, everyone just kind of showed up and had a great time, and we're also professional. It was a good balance of fun time and professionalism, so I think that really helps.
And so as a first-time director, what was the biggest lesson that what was your biggest takeaway? Your first time directing?
Oh, man.
Make sure you tell them.
Yeah. Biggest takeaway, man.
Give me a good, best part, worst part.
I think the worst part was because that's the easier one to answer right now. The worst part was having to pay everything out of my pocket and not having deep pockets. It would have been so nice to have at least $20,000 and be like, all right, we're going to film, I'll pay you something, and we'll film for like a month straight. But what we had to do, we managed to shoot 9 days straight, and then the rest of the 35 days was like on weekends and spare time.
That part is so hard because it's like keeping the energy going.
Keeping the haircut similar.
Oh, God.
Over 8 months.
That is so annoying. That's like, oh, I can't change my facial hair. That's what Benjamin is like. My husband gets a fade, and I swear to God, his fade looks different every single time he goes to the place. And so it's like, that is not what you look like.
That's why they did wigs in like Lord of the Rings. You know, they shot over 3 years.
Oh, shut up.
So I
did not know that.
Because like all 3 films take place over 1 year, but they shot it over like 3 years.
Oh,
So
that makes sense.
just slap a good-looking wig on, and the hair's perfect every time.
Yep. Okay. All right. So having a little bit of budget.
We didn't use wigs, by the way. We didn't have that budget.
So you can shoot straight, keep that energy going. Okay,
that would be ideal.
What was your favorite thing that you learned? Or best lesson?
Best lesson, man, that's really tough. I think one of my favorite parts, maybe it's not a lesson.
Yeah.
Was I'm really good friends with a lot of people on the set. So as much as we had to focus and get things done, it was kind of like hanging out with your friends, making a home movie, just professional grade home movie.
That is really cool.
So that was probably one of my favorite parts. I don't know if I have a best lesson.
Well, because sometimes going from being a peer to being in charge can be a really challenging transition. Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like you were able to do that really gracefully.
And I've directed short films with some of them before. So, it wasn't like a total all right, I'm the boss now. It's like they kind of knew okay, John Francis, he's the director. He's going to come up with a story and bring us along for the ride.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they enjoyed the ride. As far as best lesson, though, I think it's hard to quantify into one single thing.
Okay.
Because I learned so much from each of my projects. So it's more of as opposed to one specific lesson, I would say I've evolved as a whole person, as a whole director in ways. So, and hopefully my next film that shows through that I've improved in many areas, not just one.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Is this out? Can people go watch this film right now?
As of right now, it is not publicly available. This is the first festival we're in. I'm waiting to hear back on more festivals. So we're premiering at Austin Action Fest.
All right. Y'all missed it. Today.
Sorry about you.
You can watch it online, though, you guys. You can still go watch it online. So your premiere's here. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be doing the circuit.
Yeah, so we're waiting to hear back from about 20 other festivals over the course of many months. So we'll see what, as you know, you submit to 20, 30 festivals. Mm-hmm. You hope to get into 4 or 5.
Right.
More would be nice.
Yeah.
So as of right now, we're waiting to see if we get into 4 or 5 of those 20 more.
Well, that's what like I said at the beginning, I'm always partial to the projects that have a ton of action in them.
Me too.
Also, my favorite projects the last 2 years were comedies.
Oh, nice.
So I love comedy. I do comedy. So I really liked the Andrew character because
Good,
I
good.
got the
And I'm hoping
funny
he'll
stuff
be
too.
here at some point, the actor, because he actually moved to Austin. So
Oh.
he said he's going to try to make it to the festival. So fingers crossed he makes it.
All
in time.
right, we're gonna hope and pray. Okay, so what else? What do people need to know? Where can they find you? Are you on social media? If they want to reach out, if they want to hire you, how do they get in touch with you?
So my personal Instagram is probably, thanks to my wife, the one I use the most. John FM Films is my personal one.
Okay.
Our company page is Spectrograph Films.
Okay.
What's it called? We had to do a little. I think we had like an underscore.
Ooh. Instagram is always silly. You can't just have a normal name.
Yeah.
It's always
so,
like some kind of underscore.
Spectrograph underscore films is our business page.
Instagram. Okay.
So.
All right. What am I forgetting? What
I
is?
don't know.
Is there anything else I should be asking you that you want to share with the audience or with the folks out there who maybe are have always wanted to be involved in film? Like we hear from a lot of folks who say things like, "Oh, I always had a passion for film," but they, like many people, they go, they get the job, they do the 9 to 5, and they kind of give up on their dream of being involved in film. What would you say to those folks out there as you have gone out and you have cultivated your career in these projects and stuff like that? What do you think?
I would say probably my biggest life lesson when it comes to filmmaking is passion is not enough. You can sit around and daydream all you want. You can even sit down and write a bunch of scripts. And I've done both. I'm still doing both. But at some point, you have to, despite the odds, you got to figure out how to make that film, write that book, write that full screenplay. And if no one wants to pick it up, one, maybe listen to some feedback. If people aren't picking it up because it's not good, then you might want to listen. But if it is good, if you have good feedback and it is a project that should be made, but no one believes in you for whatever reason, you got to figure out a way to make it yourself.
Yep.
That's kind of what this project was. It was like, all right, there's some people who like me, they like what I'm saying, but I'm a first-time director. Are they going to take that gamble? Maybe not. So it's like, all right, I got to come up with a script I can shoot for, in my case, 6,000, pull a Robert Rodriguez.
Yep.
And just make it happen. So hopefully this can help me get to the next step with a higher budget and a higher budget after that and so on and so forth. But
and nowadays when everybody's got a freaking smartphone in their pocket, like just go figure it out.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Everyone has access. Everyone theoretically can go do this.
Go put
just
it on YouTube, do something with it, just move forward. That's what never let be the barrier. Just keep moving. I like that.
Thank you.
That's good. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, great project. I'm looking forward to seeing the next one.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.